If you don't forgive others of their past sins, then you can't be forgiven.
Have you asked yourself once, one time, what's best for us? For him, for your grandson?
So Titus, you did the documentary as well as paintings and then decided that wasn't enough. What happened?
This never started as that. That's not what I set out to do initially. I set out to help my children understand a little bit better, my two sons, about their father and about the world that I come from and how different that world is from the one they're growing up in.
You forgive your father? Did you ever even like him?
The character of the father is not the villain in this story, and my father is not the villain in my life. Writing this script helped me really come to terms with that reality. And my children and I now have a much more open conversation about my upbringing, and it has been beneficial for the relationship.
Why are you asking me that?
Do you remember that broken mirror?
That night didn't happen. It was a bad dream, I decided.
What about all the other nights?
Tell me what the process was like, because you primarily have expressed yourself on canvas as an artist, to go from being an artist on canvas to actually creating a film.
A friend of mine said, after seeing this film, he said, "Titus, it's interesting. You've been painting this movie your entire career." I was thinking about writing a letter to my sons. How do I tell them this story? And it started with me waking up in the morning and starting to write. I started to sketch and I started to paint. And so the familiarity of putting brush to canvas made it possible for me to work through this process of writing that I had never done before, because the writing and the painting were actually connected. I feel blessed by the experience that I had. People who decided to come on this project believed in the mission of the project, believed in the narrative and what it had the capacity to do in hearts and minds once it existed into the world, once it was fully realized.
Let's talk about the casting for a moment. I mean, you have cast everyone so perfectly. I love every single scene of the film. What was happening for you as you're watching all of this unfold?
What was I feeling? How? How? This is my first film. How did Anjanou Ellis Taylor, Andre Holland, John Earl Jelks, Andrew Day all agree to be in my first directorial debut? Like,
Hello.
I felt humbled. I felt really, really, really humbled. I don't know how else to say it. Everyone had some relationship to this script. So I can't take credit for it. I can't pretend like, oh, Titus is so good, he's so whatever. I can't do that. There's stuff that happens in this film and you feel it. It's very clear to me that we had some covering on this.
With that said, what role does faith play in getting all this done, and also in the lives of the characters, yourself included, in exhibiting and finding that path to forgiveness?
People of faith love me most in the world. Those are the people who saved my life, the people who have nurtured me, cared for me, built my moral principles and values. That's the world they come from. So what does faith have to do with this project? Brother has everything to do with this project.
Jesus is strong enough to save.
How are you feeling having your first film under your belt?
I was just trying to be honest. I was trying to make something that was vulnerable and truthful enough that my children would be able to connect to it. The result has actually been that the film has opened up things for viewers that I just never expected. I've been making paintings for almost 20 years, man. I've done hundreds and hundreds of exhibitions. My work has been on the cover of Time magazine. I'm in MoMA, I'm in the Metropolitan, I'm like all over the place. And I can tell you, I've made nothing in my career that comes close to the responses that I've received from this film.
Brick by brick, that's how we move.
I put it on canvas so that I can hold it by the throat.
Foundation.
It was a meaningful part of my healing process. I didn't set out to make this film and be like, I'm gonna go through this whole emotional and it's gonna take me on this journey and I will come closer to my healing. That's not what I set out to do in any way, shape, or form. But God had other plans, I guess.